All right, good evening. Good evening, good evening. Thanks for joining us, guys. Tonight, we're doing a little behind the scenes or the after hours with Fujitsu Tech Support. We got our friend here, Mr. Juan Perez, RSS from Fujitsu. So he's going to answer some questions we got for him, and hopefully you guys have some good questions too. We see a lot of people jumping in now, so please throw your questions in the chat box. We got the Contractor Services group, as you can see on the bottom of the screen there, headed by Mr. Fry, Jim DePalma, Anthony Tassi, Mr. Russo, myself, and Rob Clemens. We got Mr. Tassi here on the screen as well. He's going to be throwing out those questions and interrupting us so we can get your questions answered, hopefully. So anything you got, throw it at us. Before we start, Juan, if you could just, explain what RSS is and a little bit about yourself and what you do for Fujitsu.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Juan Perez for Fujitsu General. I'm an RSS, which is a regional support specialist. So I assist TSAs, reps, and contractors in the field with troubleshooting. And I also, on the phone, as tech support, some of you might spoke to me before on the phone, but I've been at Fujitsu for about 6 years. And I do trainings. Like I mentioned, I do job sites, whatever needs to be done to make everyone's customers happy and get the job done. That's what I do, brother. Anything to help. And what I always say is make non-believers believers again. That's my little thing. I'm a save that one.
I like that one. That's pretty good. So like I said, we're gonna have some fun tonight. So if you guys, you got those questions, throw them out there. We'll kind of field them as we go. We're gonna start off. The first question I have is, everybody else has been adapting to this whole COVID-19 thing, this whole pandemic. How is tech services adapting? Do they need to adapt?
Yeah. So in our area we have floods. We have anything happens, every Fujitsu technician has a laptop where we could work remotely. We could set up anywhere where there's Wi-Fi and be able to do our job. So, it's to be honest, I usually work from home, so I haven't really noticed much, but my kids being home driving me crazy. That's about it. But besides that, as far as work, I'm able to provide people with all the information they need and get things done like normal. We still do job sites. We were banned for a little bit, but depending on what's going on, and if it's an empty office building or something like that, then they'll let me come out.
Awesome. Very good. So we're talking tech support here. One of the things I always like to know is, what are some of the tools, the resources your team, is utilizing to help technicians troubleshoot systems out in the field?
Well, having access, like everyone should have the mobile technician app, which, you might not see older models there, but all the newer stuff is definitely in there. And then you could start troubleshooting there. Or if you have access to the portal, you could go and check bulletins, download disassemble instructions. If you go to the help center, which is Zendesk at fujitsugeneral.zendesk.com, there has a search bar that you could just type in what you're looking for. So let's say you have a communication error. All you have to do is write communication error, and then it'll take you to a page where it has the models listed. You pick your model and see how to troubleshoot that communication error on your own. It has all the fan motor readings in there, how to check your expansion valve coils. And then again, with the mobile technician app, you have access to measure resistance on all your thermistors, except is in the works a thermistor for an indoor unit while connected to the board. There's some thermistors that come soldered on the indoor unit board, so we're going to update the app, so then that would be in there too, because a lot of people have been saying, most room thermistors are soldered into the indoor board, so we're going to add that one there as well. But there's a lot of information out there. That help center to me is the key, the fujitsugeneral.zendesk.com. There you have all your videos on how to replace boards, We're always adding stuff there, so that's the best place to go if you're on the phone on hold and you're headed to a job the day before. You might as well look that error code up and get some information and get started because of the long wait times in the beginning of the summer, you know.
Right. Yeah, that Zendesk is something else. I mean, I know you spend personally a lot of time with those videos, the board replacement videos and stuff like that. You know, that's something I watch all the time just to familiarize myself before I go out. How many videos do you have now that you guys have put together?
Well, as far as quantity, I don't know, but I know that we have the multi-zones for like the anything from an 18,000 to a 36,000 multi-zone. We have all the single zone videos in there, the single boards, the 5 board setup, the triangle board setup. So we also we don't only have the video how to replace the board, we have the video as well as how to remove the kit that
Right.
the boards are in. So now, I mean, a lot of techs that don't own their own company get upset because now the owner is going to say, well, Fujitsu said you could change the board even if it's raining, and you can. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You just got to know how to take the
Yeah.
boards inside with you, you know? So
That,
that's all,
that's a
that's all
perfect
there.
point. That's a perfect point, not to cut you off, but that's something I don't think we talk about enough. If you want to just explain, real quick how that process is, whether we don't have to really change those boards on site.
So when I say removing the kit, to me, that's like if you're going to work on your car and you open the hood, removing the kit is like reopening the hood. Now you have access to all your thermistors, all your pressure switches, your compressor, everything is accessible once you take that box out of your way. You know
Right.
what I mean? So then let's say it's raining, you grab your box, it has a cover on it, the 3 board setup, take it inside in a garage or in your van and replace the boards and put them back on, you know? But every unit has a way of removing that kit, and all those videos are on YouTube, which you could find links to in Zendesk, like I mentioned.
Right. And speaking, we'll keep on with Zendesk. My next question really is, over the last 6 months to a year, I know there were some changes, some new things where you guys have been using it yourselves, but what are some of those changes or upgrades to the tech support process?
All right, so we have a new call center now. So then, as far as reps and TSAs, when you call in and they identify you, you go into a queue where you're gonna get to the person you need to speak to. Right, so we have it's called Talk Desk, which is that, and then it also, I mean, I forgot to say that Zendesk is also gonna have a chat where you could chat with a technician. Sometimes you want to text. Some people like to text. You know what I mean? Not me personally, but some people are texters and they would love to troubleshoot. I don't know who's. I can't text that much, but some people like to text and do that. And then also we have Zoom, which if you're on site, we have Zoom built into our Zendesk. So not only do we have a video, but the video also gets saved into the ticket. So when somebody's reviewing the ticket, they want to look at the video or listen to the call, they can do both now. So we have that. And then like I use it every day is the mobile technician app. I'm not gonna, that's my thing. That's how I troubleshoot. I'm on the phone. All right, let's ohm out your thermistors. I find my thermistor, wait for the guy to give me his readings and see if they're right. That's a tool that I use every single day while I'm troubleshooting.
Right, right. Same here. Same here. The Zoom, I think, really got more popular now. You
Yes,
guys have been using it for almost, what, 2 years now? And I know a lot of
yes,
guys were hesitant to use it, but now with COVID and social distancing and all this other stuff, myself, I've been able to, and I think that's a way we can help everybody that's out there listening tonight is, I understand call times, but why do we need to reschedule a job site if we can jump on a quick Zoom session? So if that's
correct.
something you guys are doing as well, that's another way.
But real quick, Rick, so a thing is that everyone has to be prepared because let's say you're on a job site, no one probably, there might be somewhere where they don't have good service and they
Yeah.
can't download Zoom at that
Right.
moment or something. So this is
Yeah.
things that everyone should have in their phone, your mobile technician app, your Zoom app, you know what I mean? And get ready to troubleshoot. I mean, there's nothing like, you know, when we're on the phone and we can't see what's going on, we got to believe everything they're telling us. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like whatever they tell me, I got to believe it because I'm not there, you know?
Right.
And I notice when when something is not going right, you get that moment of silence, you know, that they're like, oh, I think they figured it out, but they won't tell you. But you know, you be like, oh, I think they figured it out, and then they be, let me call you back, and that was it. You never hear from them again.
Right.
But
Right. No, absolutely.
With Zoom, you could see what's going on. You know it'll save me a job site just seeing. Like I could look at a board and know if it's installed incorrectly because I've seen so many of them. You
Exactly.
know, just by looking at a picture or a video, I could tell right away if the board is installed incorrectly. So
Right. Yeah, no,
it
it
helps.
definitely helps. I know the pictures in the past, and that's something, guys, techs might not see what ourselves, like Anthony and the rest of our contractor services group, what we can see, but it definitely helps tech support when we can see those images you guys are uploading in the videos and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah,
definitely,
I also tell the guys that when they do receive pictures via email, I always try to tell them to attach the pictures to the ticket as well. So then everything is in one place. You know what I mean? You don't have to go crazy looking for, you know, the guy that got the email and all
yep,
that. So then I make sure that everybody puts everything on the ticket itself. And then another thing that Zendex does is that while you're on the phone with a customer, you could just CC him on the ticket, and he'll get an email with the conversation and
right,
everything, you know, with all the updates and stuff like that. I mean, he probably won't be able to listen to the conversation unless you have the light status on Zendesk, but you know, you could see your part numbers and stuff like that, you know.
right, right. Awesome. So, Ant, before we continue, we got anything going on there? See a lot of chatter, man.
Yeah, there's a question about a multi-head system and if it's a call. He's thinking if it was a heat and cool call, which one is determined to get, priority. So I did mention it's a heat pump. We do one or the other really well. We can't do both, but it's the first in or the last mode, right? I'm typing that now. So he says, I understand that, but decide if a multi-head system is one is in cool and the other is in heat, what determines which mode is available? Well, the truth is, it doesn't know what to do. It's not going to do anything unless you're talking about automatic. If you have the remote set for automatic, then there's going to be a huge delay in which we have to transfer and switch the outdoor, right, multiple minutes. And then all of a sudden, whatever is the last priority, the last mode to get in. So it's you either want heating or all cooling. Auto is not your friend, not when it comes to our heat pumps, unless it's a wide open area with one zone, say.
Yeah, so let's say you have a multi-zone and you daisy chain 3 cassettes to one controller, auto is fine. You know what I mean? If you're sensing at the controller, because another thing is
Right.
when you daisy chain units and you're sensing at one controller, you got to make sure that you do the function setting for each address. Because if not, you're just gonna do it to the first unit connected. But on multi zones, I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't say it anywhere that I've seen. But on a heat pump, you don't want to use auto on a multi-zone because it's going to get confused and it'll sit on an 8-degree deadband, 4 up, 4 down. So if it's set to 72, it'll wait till it drops down to 68 for heat, and it'll wait till it rises up to 76 for cooling. So a day, like a nice cool day, it's going to sit there all day. The customer is going to say that it's not working. So when a unit's in different modes when it flashes the operation light by itself. I mean, some people say no, the unit's in cooling, but if you didn't hear that remote signal beep yourself, you don't know. So sometimes that like I always say, the remote controller is like a TV remote. You could sit on it, change all the channels, but if it's not sending the signal to the TV, it's not going to do anything. The remote could say 80 heat, high fan, but it could be set to 64 cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't know if somebody. So no matter what anybody says, if that light is blinking, only one indoor unit, it's in a different mode. And if they're all blinking in the winter, only the operation light, it's in defrost.
Right.
And yeah.
I mean, listen, like you say, your best scenario for multi-heads, if you want to use the auto, it's only best if it's all one open floor
Yes.
plan zone.
Mark.
That's the
Yep.
So
Good
I hope
question.
that helps you
Good
out,
question.
Dave.
Yeah, man. If not, type it back. We'll figure it out.
Jimmy Fry's the man.
Very good. So moving forward, so I guess this kind of ties into, a lot about what we were just talking about, but, what are some of the key things, that a contractor can really do before getting on the phone with you guys, before you start the troubleshooting process?
The number one thing is have the models and serial numbers ready, because that seems tedious sometimes, and sometimes, especially during COVID, a lot of people can't get the indoor model numbers and serial numbers because the people don't want them inside the house. They want them to fix the air conditioner, but they can't go inside. So, every time I get a call like that, I'm hoping that it's an outdoor issue, but they always need to have the models and serial numbers ready. Something as simple as having a new medium static. Let's say you have a ARU12 RGLX inside, but accidentally they gave you an RLX condenser. You're going to have a communication error that you're going to be driving yourself crazy unless they gave the right models and serial number. Even the admin could mistakenly not even notice that. But me as tech support, every time I answer a ticket, I confirm the ticket. I ask the gentleman's name or the lady's name, and then I confirm the model numbers. And as I'm confirming the model numbers to myself, that would stand out if there's a bad combination. Like, oh, I already know what the problem is, sir. I got you. You have the wrong combination, and that's it. But another thing that's so very important, and I know everybody that knows me heard me say it before, is the pinpoint needle leads.
Yeah.
Like a 20-minute call turns into an hour and 15 minutes because I gotta wait for someone to go find stranded wire or something that they could stick in the little hole. Amazon, $7.99, pinpoint needle leads. It'll turn your day into a blessing if you call Fujitsu tech support and you have those meter leads, and a meter that reads into the mega ohms is what we need. And it'll turn the biggest delay in the summer is thick meter leads. I'm telling you, that is the killer of the calls, is people not having the sharp meter leads. You know what I mean?
Right. And you said it earlier, you unfortunately you can't see the readings, so you're kind of relying on what the tech is saying. So false readings are possibly, they're going to get you parts you didn't need, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you're getting a reading, especially when you say, oh, ohm out that thermistor, and they're telling you OL, and I'm like, it's impossible. The fan motor, black and white, black and yellow, it's impossible that it's going to say OL. You understand? So you need to give me a reading, and sometimes you just need those sharp meter leads,
Right. Hey, I've been there. I've done it. The thermostat wire, cut them on an angle, It's not fun. You struggle, man.
I'm telling you, man, that 7, 8, let's say $10 would save you a headache in the summer, brother. A headache.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we talked about the tools you guys are using and some of the stuff that we're using as reps, and we got a couple. We got some great TSAs on here tonight too, which is awesome. Thank you guys for jumping in. So, what would you say are some of the most underutilized tools or resources we have?
Well, our service bulletins, our videos, some people really, really don't know that they could go in the portal, go to downloads, and you will find you could go to my documents, right? And you would find every released bulletin that Fujitsu has ever released. You could just type it in. You could type in expansion valve coil, show you how to ohm out your expansion valve coil discharge. So all those things and all those training classes in the portal and all that, a lot of people really don't use that, and it's very, very helpful. I mean, I even watch those classes just to sharpen up a little bit. Right. But there's a lot of stuff in there that 6 years, and I still find stuff that I never seen before. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so it's I'm always navigating the portal. I'm always navigating Zendesk because they always put things in there. You know, my mobile technician app. There's a lot of information within that portal and Zendesk. That's a lot of. That's what I noticed that some people don't they aren't aware of it actually. They just
Absolutely. Yeah. Now we talk about it. We try to, push it around. And some of the things that I like, I don't know if you use it as well, but techs can create their own ticket numbers, correct? On Zendesk.
Well, I'm not like the text. You have to have you have to be a light agent on Zendesk. So that would be the TSAs or the reps. They could create their own. I mean, if a tech calls in or he emails, a ticket has been created. You know what I mean? So as soon as you pick up the phone and you call Fujitsu, there's a ticket for that call coming in already.
Right.
But yeah, so then with the TSAs, well, once they call, like let's say a TSA is gonna call because he has an issue with one of his customers, he could start that ticket. He could put in the models and serial number, say what the problem is, and they could actually finish the whole call, the whole thing. They could troubleshoot, update it, give the part numbers, whatever they need to do. But sometimes I always get, oh, the distributor said to call Fujitsu before we do anything, so that's something that has to be ironed out a little bit. But the TSAs can do RAs, they could do tickets, they could troubleshoot, they could do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and for the guys that don't know what TSAs are, those are our technical service advisors. So each distributor has one. So they're just like Anthony, myself, Juan. We kind of have those same duties. I know a lot of the times we do have that submit a request on Zendesk where a contractor can kind of go in there and put his model and serial numbers in. Is that the same as creating a ticket or starting a ticket?
Once you do that, yes, it would start a ticket. Yes. Once
So
he
that will
saves
save
it,
some time,
yeah, so once he saves it and they run that serial number, that ticket will come out.
Okay.
So a couple of questions here. One of the local TSA, Billy from Johnstone, when you were mentioning about what people can do before they call, vacuum pumps, having a regulator that's upwards of 800 pounds, something to make sure we're testing the system. The equipment, like you're saying, the micro points, the leads are key for sure. But yeah, having a pump and a regulator, how many times, Rick, we say in class, what do you guys do? And he tells me his regulator only goes to 350. And I'm like, well, you need a new regulator, But Billy is also asking about how he can do RAs. So maybe that's a sidebar conversation for him being a TSA.
Yeah. Call me Billy, because RAs is a somebody handles that in particular, and you got to CC her, and then she'll get back to you. But what you could text me later, Billy, or tomorrow. That's Billy from Johnstone, right? BMF.
Yep, that's our friends over at Johnstone. Yeah.
That's my buddies over there. Paul's not on here yet, no.
No, we're gonna make a phone call tomorrow. Definitely.
Yeah.
What else we got there, Ann? Anything else you see?
No, we're pretty clean after that. So Billy's really chiming in with a couple of things.
Good.
Dave seems to settle down with his multi-head, so no more questions. I think we're doing good.
That's good. That's the questions we want. So if you guys have, kind of looking over them right now, but yeah, if you got anything else, equipment related problems you had, why not throw it out there?
100%.
So, I mean, really now in our territory, I mean, we're pretty saturated with mini splits, but now with all the whole strategic electrification and everything else going on, rebates being available for these contracts, for homeowners in general, over the last couple of years, I mean, we're just seeing more and more and more of these guys. So I think a lot of guys are brand new to the mini split world. How would techs, kind of make themselves better? What are some of the ways you would recommend?
Like always, the best thing is training. Like coming to the trainings. I mean, right now nobody's gonna put down their tool bag and sign up for a class because everybody's busy. But those slow days in the fall and the spring, get in those classes, and like I said, you could do it all at home while you're on your computer. I mean, nothing beats a live class and coming in and actually feeling and touching the equipment and going through all the bugs and all that, and that's where it's at. But to me, the only way you're gonna learn is training, and repetition. I mean, not every day a person is on a Fujitsu call, you know, because tomorrow he might go to do a hot water heater or rooftop unit, or you know what I mean. So like one thing that I always do is that when I answer the phone, I know that this person might not work on these units every day like I do. So I'm very calm, you know. I try every single call. I try to teach, you know, like, so next time they call, they have everything that I need without me, you know, having to ask. They're like, oh, I already checked my expansion valve coils. I already checked the voltage on the board for the coil. I checked my thermistors, the voltage, you know. So I always, every call that I get, I try to teach. And for people to learn, they have to sign up for the classes, and that's the only way, man. That's the only way you're gonna learn, because it's not like you could Google this stuff, you know. It's not. You might get the wrong answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you give yourself another half hour, 45 minutes on a job, if not a whole nother day. You know, I know you guys, brand new building, we got it up there on the screen, you know, in a little background there. So you guys, I don't even think you guys really had a chance to move in, right? You know, you guys kind of came in and then everybody was kicked out and sent home.
I sat down on my desk one day at my brand new desk, and I never, well, I've been back now, but you know, I haven't, just to do other things. But to work there the full day, it was just that one day, and that was it. And I never been back. And then yeah, so they're is that, well, people go every day, but I can't wait to get back in there, man. We even have a gym in there, man. It's crazy.
Really? Really?
All right, gentlemen. I spoke too soon. David's back.
Awesome. What do we got?
So,
Hey, what you got, Dave?
just verifying, multi-head, not daisy chained, and not in auto mode. X head 1 in cool mode, and shortly after 2 is put into heat mode. Who wins?
No one. It's not gonna work.
That's it.
It's just gonna lock out.
It's a heat pump.
Yep, you're gonna get some flashing lights.
Can't do both.
Yep. Yeah, a little operation light flashing at you, you know, waiting for you to decide.
If it's not in auto mode, you're not even gonna get a delay and switch. It's gotta be one or the other. It doesn't know what to do. It's confused until you put both in heat or both in cooling.
Unless you have a heat recovery system with 3 pipes and RBUs, then it's magic. Yeah.
I'm assuming at this point it is Halcyon Fujitsu residential. So,
Man.
but that's the only other option. If it was a simultaneous VRF, that's about it.
Correct. All right, good. So David, hopefully that breaks it down a little bit more for you. But you know, just talk a little bit more about that building there. You know, what are you guys doing? I know there's a new training center being put together there. You know, have you had eyes on it? You know, anything new gonna pop up?
I have eyes on it, man. That thing is built, like the Halcyon room is already done, just about done. They're putting up I don't know if you guys heard of it, the multi-poise air handler coming out.
Yeah, multi-position. Talk about it a little bit. You got to talk about it a little bit.
So that's coming out. They put it in there. I mean, they didn't let me take it out of the box. Can't wait to see it though. But yeah, so then the air stage room is we still got to get all the piping in and all that, but all the equipment is there. You know, we unpacked it. Everything is ready to go. I mean, that's it. But they actually been doing webinars, like the class online. Artie will sit there with his cameras. He has 3 cameras, and he'll teach the class like that.
Okay.
You know?
What are some of those trainings? Are they going to change any of the trainings that are going to be provided out of that building?
So far, I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Like we mentioned, I haven't had time in there. You know, like all I want to do is fix that air stage room, man, because you know that's my baby. But so we're trying to finish the summer, and then as soon as the summer finishes, we'll get in there and finish everything. I mean, it's gonna have to be during the summer, because come fall is training season, you know.
Yeah.
So we gotta have everything ready. At least the gym's ready. Nah.
Well, that's the important part, man. I'm sure Matt had that done first, right?
Yeah, that gym is nice, man. Wait till you come see it, man. Everything is beautiful in that
We
place.
got to do a tour. You know, how many people we get on here tonight? We got to take everybody. We go for a field trip, you know?
Yeah, a little field trip.
Yeah,
Beautiful. It's like Air Stage on Broadway on steroids.
you know what? Maybe
Minus the
talk about
view.
that a little bit. There's a couple people on here that I see that I don't think they've ever been introduced to that. So that's another resource we have, you know, obviously on the training side. So if you want to talk about that for a minute.
Air Stage on Broadway, but without the view, because Air Stage on Broadway is dead center in Times Square. You could see the Times Square ball from up there, right there in front of you. And it's a nice facility that we could do trainings there, meetings. It's beautiful. I mean, the guys that been there, you go up there, 42nd floor,
Yep.
look down, you bring people from out of town up there. It's a good feeling, man. It's very, very nice
Yeah,
up
I've done
there.
some trainings up there myself, you know, and I love it. You know, it's a little bit of a
The-
hassle when you got some product you're trying to bring up there, but it's worth it once you get up there. You know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's getting in that elevator and bringing all that stuff up there, then to drag it down. But they
Yep.
also got great pizza right across the street.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. We know all about pizza, man. That's what we do at trainings.
They
Pizza, what do we
they got
say
the
yet?
Spider-Man. They got the Spider-Man pizzeria right across the street.
Right? Anthony knows. Anthony knows our saying. Pizza and donuts, man. Pizza and donuts. That's what we do, you know.
One
So,
big
Yeah,
carbohydrate.
you know, so we're gonna get warmer, you know, in a couple weeks, you know, or now. I mean, really, I mean, next week we're supposed to be in the upper 80s, you know. Obviously, we're gonna increase some of those tech calls and stuff like that.
oof.
You know, on average, you know, how many guys do you really carry in that house, you know?
Well, like it should be at least 26 agents online every day. So that you'll see like 26 agents online on when everybody comes in and everything. So then like 7 of those agents are admins, and then the rest are techs. So then the techs, you have your RSSs, then you have your air stage techs, you have your unitary techs, and your halcyon techs. I mean, some people do it all, like myself. I got to take a call for whatever comes. Even
Right.
a angry homeowner, they'll give it to me, because I'll figure it out. I'll try to figure it out, or if I can't figure it out, I'll know the person that would be able to figure it out for them.
Exactly. Nah, listen, I think you figure it all out, man. So you're my
Not,
go-to guy.
not everything, not everything. So
It's buried in that portal somewhere, man. You just got to dig.
yeah, it's in there. But if worst comes to worst, I have all the engineers' emails, and they all like me, so I'll get the answer. Don't worry.
That's it. That's it.
Juan, how long you been at Fujitsu?
December will be 6 years.
Very good. And were you in the field prior to this position and what you're doing?
I was only in the field 2 years, and reason being, I drove trucks most of my life. That's how I know how to get around. I did New York City, Connecticut, South
Yeah.
Jersey, Pennsylvania. You send me anywhere, I'll go. But and what happened is that the company moved to Delaware, the trucking company, and
Right.
I wasn't gonna move to Delaware. I went on unemployment, and at the time, unemployment had a program called New Jersey Builds, because it was like during the recession, and they wanted to get people back out there working, and they said you could be a plumber, electrician, a carpenter, and then they say or HVAC, which had a little bit of everything, and I was like, I'll do that, and I tell you, if I wish I would have done it 20 years ago, because I love this stuff, man. I just love it.
Now we had some fun, you know. We definitely had fun out there on some of these jobs and all that stuff. You know, obviously,
Correct.
so trying to think, you know, can you give us a little, you mentioned the multi-positional air handler, you know, your little teaser there. So you got to
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that there, boy.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Nothing, huh?
I haven't seen it. But I know that it's gonna be multi-poise, like they came out with the vertical one, and then,
Yeah.
now they're gonna have this multi-poise air handler that I'm sure is gonna be a big seller. A lot of people use those type of units, so.
Right.
Hey, Juan,
But they have that, the medium statics, right? The medium static is one of my favorites. Now, when
I need
somebody
some
calls me,
clarification on that.
I'm sorry.
I need some clarification on that. When we set the auto to static, it only does it once when commissioning. Is that right?
What the when you that's what I was gonna say, when you get the automatic static pressure. I mean, the times I've done has been once, but I would have to
I had
look into that.
there was
Yeah.
someone making a statement that you can do it with zoning, and then it will figure out what the static for the zones are. And it's like, that's not something I ever heard or know to be true. So
No, because it's a physical function code that you have to set to put it into mode. So unless you're
Right.
there
Yeah.
setting that function code every time you turn a zone on, it's never going to know to go into that automatic mode.
well,
So
I
I
hate
know
to
it
say
works.
that information was coming from some of our wholesalers that were selling our equipment. I'm like, you do not tell people that. Please do not tell people that.
No,
Get it
but
out
the
there.
26 function number 26 and number 32, without you can't turn on the unit though to cooling. You can only turn on the fan, and then it'll run a test, and then it'll tell you what
Right.
the setting is, and then you have to set it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just gonna set it,
Okay.
because some they'll just leave it like that, and it'll just, it won't
Display
be
on
set.
the remote.
Yeah, it'll display what number they want you to set it at.
So the
remote.
idea is the mid static doesn't come with a controller at all.
No, you have the option to use the 2-wire controllers, or you have the option to use the 3-wire controller with those. So
But what
then now everything that Fujitsu's putting out from now on is gonna have the 2-wire controllers, like the air stage controller.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't we have a wireless option also? So you always have to set it up with a wired controller.
Correct.
Yeah, well, no, I mean that ducted unit is a wire. You need a wired controller for it, or I'm sure you could use the infrared thing that you could order with the controller that comes with the handheld controller, and then you could just put it on the wall and do it like that. But those and the cassettes, like now, let's say the RGLX cassettes that come with the grill, they sell the little corner so you could have the wireless controller if you wanted to. Yes.
But going back to the ducted, if you had that wireless option, that will not display what you need to put it in as far as settings. It has to be on a
No. Yeah, it
wire.
has to be the wired controller.
I see Billy's got some, Billy's trying to dig with me here on this multi-positional here, man. He's trying to get some
Yeah,
info.
we could have a private conversation about that.
There is some things, he's asking, is it based on Ream, and I know there was some collaboration, but it's all internals from Fujitsu, correct?
Yeah, I haven't even been able to take it out the box.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's something else.
I haven't been able to even see it yet. I wanted to, but not yet.
That's great. That's great. What are some of give us some of your best job site visits out there? What are some of your insights,
Oh my goodness. I mean, you name it, man. I seen it. I don't know what it is in Brooklyn, but in Brooklyn you always see like the weirdest things, man. But I seen units in closets, which we shared pictures of those, like where's the indoor unit? And then you go and the guy's like, it's right here, and he moves the clothes out the way and he's like, you don't see it? I was like, yeah, I see it now. But I had that.
Oh,
I have that, I had units like for example, 45 in a $4 million penthouse in Manhattan. They put in this they put in, like, instead of putting in a J series to handle the whole house, they put like 4 45s in there. And all the units were facing, they were like 4 inches from the glass, the fan, like the discharge of the condenser.
Yep.
And they were all blowing off on high pressure. It was crazy, that one. I mean, I could go all night, man, just telling you things that I've seen. I've driven 4 hours just to go plug in a 4-way valve that somebody left unplugged.
Yep.
I've seen it all.
Yep.
I've done so
we share our stories. I know we share.
Any summer I would do up to, like, one summer I did 96 job sites. You know what I mean? Like, that was like every day. I would do sometimes 2 a day. I was doing job sites,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then now they decided that in the summer job sites have to wait. You know what I mean? So they're not gonna. Before I used to go out almost every day, but then they stopped that because they need the power on the phone. You know?
well, that's where you guys kind of, leave it off on us, and that's why you
Yeah.
lean on us, and some of the TSAs. So even, if you want to talk about that, how we get involved with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I like Wales, you guys, man. I swear, man, it's like it's always a pleasure. Like Rick, John, Anthony, like everything. You guys don't never call me. I mean, like you do everything on your own. I mean, like I always like to help people. The TSAs. I work with John. I mean, with Paul from BMF a lot. Like if he has any questions, Billy could call me whenever you want, Billy. You know, I deal with Adam at Sid Harvey's, who, I help guys all day, man, all day. I take calls. They come in every 2 minutes. I'm on the phone.
Right.
Once you hang up, they give you 2 minutes to finish doing what you got to do, and boom, next call.
Right.
You know.
Awesome. So
But if go
go for
ahead.
it. No, I'm
No,
sorry.
I was gonna say that as far as the TSAs, like in times like this as well, like I could reach out and say, oh, I have this ticket number. He's one of your customers because I could see where the unit came from,
Right.
and I say he's one of your customer, and then I could get them in touch. And it's been very, very helpful working with the TSAs more like closer like that now. And
Yeah.
another thing is as well with the TSAs that we have the regional support specialists that for each area. I just happen to be New York and New Jersey, but then you have Texas, Florida. So now what they did with the SIR, we created a program where the TSAs would be more connected to their regional support specialists. So now the guy in Virginia that used to call me all the time, that he's a TSA, now he's going to have to talk to his own
Right.
regional support specialist, because like that it'll be better, man. I work with my people, they work with their people. I mean, I'll help anybody, but
Yep.
dividing it like that, you have a better relationship, and you'll be able to get the job done much easier, because if a guy calls me from Florida, unfortunately I'm not going to be able to make it. I would love to, but they're not going to send me, so you rather have a relationship with your RSS from Florida, you know what I mean, where
Exactly.
he can get in his car and drive to where you are.
Right. Right. And I think that's something contractors, and for the techs that are listening tonight, I don't think
Mhm.
they realize that they can lean on us. They don't have to
Yes.
wait on a tech support line, and wait for those calls. So, that's something we kind of, they hear it from us, but I don't know if they understand that. So if you want to explain how we get, like, how we get involved like that, that's fine.
Yeah. So especially you're like an elite contractor.
Yep.
He has the same access. Like if an elite contractor calls in to Fujitsu, he's gonna go into the VIP queue, just like the TSAs, and just like they go right through. Like it might, like I mentioned, don't kill me, but in the summer, it's impossible to have somebody pick up the phone and be like, in 1 minute you call, and it's you tell me a place
Yep.
that in the summer that does HVAC, you're gonna call and they're gonna pick up the phone right away. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? Like we try to make it. Trust me, man. I'm on those phones, and I'm on top of everybody. I could see who's offline, who's online, and I make sure that everybody's on those phones because I know how crazy it could get.
Right. Right.
But in situations where we need a TSA, it's to have that relationship where I could call someone and be like, listen, I need you to go call this contractor and see if you could work something out. Go on the job site, and to be able to for a TSA to update the ticket instead of I went on the job site and found this and that, told tech to replace these. I mean, that's beautiful, man. That's like a great help for us, and
Yeah.
we're helping each other because at the end of the day, they're the customer, which we all have to cater to.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. It definitely saves some time. There's not,
Yes.
just because you guys are swamped, doesn't mean we're always swamped, So
Yeah.
you know, if they realize they can give us a shout, you know, I've talked to 3 or 4 guys today, you know, that, you know, tried, oh, I've been on the phone, I can't get through. Okay, well, you didn't have to even try. You could have just called us and we could have helped you and assisted you through that. So, you know, I think that's another, that can even fall underneath one of those, you know, underutilized, you know, resources is us.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's awesome. You know, we're getting close. Anthony, any other questions out there?
No, we're clean right now.
Clean.
Yeah, everything's going well.
Yeah, we're getting close to that 8 o'clock mark. So, you know, listen, you know, if there's no questions, you know, we can hang out a minute. But, you know, Juan, I just want to thank you, man, for jumping on with us tonight. I know, like you said, you guys are busy. You guys are open to what? You're open for another 15 minutes, you know, on those tech support hours.
But we could, this is something good, man. This after hours thing, this is amazing. I did mention it to the other, like a couple other techs, and they were like, oh, I wanted to be on it. And I'm like, don't you worry. We're most likely going to have these on the regular.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we'll probably have a different guy on, or 2 of us on, or, you know, cause it's great to get to know the people you work with and talk to every day. And you know, it's a team effort, you know, and that's what it's all about.
That's a good point, man. And I think, you know, going through the summer, like you said, we're going to get busy. And I know myself as a tech, you know, I was out in the field for about 19 years before I came out and jumped on with Wales here. You know, but one of the things, I'd go home after a long day and I was always still thinking about that one job in my head. So, you know, even having this, you know, if we continue this, you know, whether it's a weekly or bi-weekly thing, you know, we get some of your techs on and we can just have a little powwow, you know, and just kind of do what we're doing tonight, you know, a little discussion.
Before you know it, we'll go viral.
Listen, I like it, man. But now listen, there's one more, we got some other people that want to be on here too. I see in the chat box. Billy wants to be on, so we'll get you on here, Billy. Yeah, so I mean, listen.
Tell him to turn on his webcam.
Yeah, right. So I just want to thank you for, you know, just spending a little bit of time with us tonight, you know, giving some insight to these guys, you know, let them understand what goes on behind the scenes, you know, and if there's no other questions, you know, that's really it for us tonight.
Hey, man, you guys, everybody knows how to reach me. You know, I'm here to help, and, you know, let's keep this dream alive, brother.
That's it. That's it. You know, for you guys that are still out there, I know we have, let's see, Mr. Clemens, did you? Yes, you did. Thank you, buddy. Rob Clemens threw in a chat box for you guys, the new Fujitsu tech support number, so you're one of the first to hear it. Anthony also threw, we got our new 2020 PDF up there, our new catalog, full-line catalog. So that was released, what, maybe a week ago, Ant?
Not a couple days, yeah.
Couple days, you know.
Yeah.
So we got the Fujitsu General. I threw up there the website for the Zendesk.
Do we, Rick, do we want to maybe mention about the new gen coming out in respect to the 2 different versions we have? I don't know if that's something just to dabble on your side, Juan, with the new LMs and the LZs and what that's going to look like.
The replacements for basically those are the replacements for the AOU 18 RLXFW, you know, like the single zones. That's what you're talking about, or?
These are the RLS3 line replacements, the new AOU.
Oh, the little ones. Yeah. Yep. I mean, they're nice. I mean, they have them installed in the classroom already. I mean, I don't know if you've seen them yet, but they're sleek, very nice looking units. But they're just basically an upgrade for what's out there. Like they went from RLS2 to the RLS3. Now is this. Yep. But they keep getting better and better, you know, smarter and smarter. I believe they have. I haven't had a chance to really mess with them, but most of them, I believe, come with the Wi-Fi now and all that. But I gotta confirm that. I don't want to say anything that I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think they're all Wi-Fi compatible. You know, if they're not coming out of the box with it, the LZ.
I think the LZ. Juan, have you been to Japan at all? Have you been overseas to Fujitsu?
No, I have not. I'm sure I will be going soon, but I just haven't had that opportunity. I mean, this year alone, I already been to Vegas. I went to Alabama. I went to Texas. COVID happened. I had an emergency landing for my first time. I mean, it's been so busy, but they did mention Japan. They've been mentioning it for like a year and change now about going out to Japan. I'm excited, man. I mean, me personally, I would love to go to Japan and see how that is out there, and you
Absolutely.
know, I mean,
Put a
just to
good
go
word in
see
for
all
me,
the new
man.
stuff.
Put a
Huh?
good word in. Put a good word in for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
great.
mean, we could go together. We'll make it a guys trip.
I
Huh,
love it.
Rick?
I
We'll
love it,
make it
man.
a
I
guys
love it. So we
trip.
got a nice comment there from our friend David over there, with the multi-head systems. So thank you, David. Appreciate it. We're here to help you guys. So
Yes,
uh,
sir.
we got 10 minutes. So listen, I don't see anything else popping up. So again, I'm going to say thank you. Thank you guys for, jumping in with us. We
Hey, it's
got
my
Thursday.
pleasure.
We got another session coming up Thursday with Upanor. Mr. Clemens will be hosting that one. So that'll be another good night. And, Juan will be in touch. We can get some other dates going, man. We'll do some tech support nights or something, we'll put something
Yeah,
together.
we could come up with anything, man. I have control guys, I have Wi-Fi guys, I have whatever you need, man.
All
We'll
right,
make
you
it
guys
happen.
heard it. You guys heard it first. So what do you guys want to hear? Send us an email. You guys got our contact numbers, let us know. There's a little survey when you guys pop out of this. So, you want to hear something, you want to talk about something, throw it in that survey and we'll make it happen. So with that, I'm going to say thank you again and everybody have a great night.
You too. Thanks, Rick, and
All right.
everyone. Thanks. Take care. Let me see how you